M-Class Podcast is back, baby, and sexier than ever.
Oh, fuck me!
I will. I'm Jeff.
I will. I'm Josh. I'm gonna get fucked.
Oh, God. He's already drinking, everybody, before we even started recording.
I'm not drunk. I had like half of a drink so far, so we're well on our way, though.
We had half of everybody's drink.
I wish.
On this episode of M-Class Podcast, we're going to be talking about Star Trek Beyond, a divisive movie, even amongst us.
Yes. We're gonna hate each other after this one.
God. Josh is my only friend, too, so this is going to get real rough on me.
You're not friends with your wife?
Look. No. I'm not gonna even say that. I am friends with my wife.
I didn't mean to put you in a corner.
I am friends with my wife. There was nowhere that joke could go that wouldn't end badly for somebody. I'm not sure who, but for somebody.
Yep.
I would never hurt my wife's feelings on this podcast, only in private. But, before, like, when we were just talking about recording this, I texted Josh that I'd been thinking about this movie a lot recently.
Yeah.
And I was just remembering a bunch of specific things about the movie, and my opinion of it was just, like, slowly diving.
Yep.
And upon re-examining this movie, I feel it's not... I didn't dive as low as I thought I was gonna dive. I'm not down at Josh's level, the sub-basement of opinion on this film.
The sub look, this is the, like, without, like, ruining the entire podcast without you listening to it, like, this is, like, the best of the three of them.
Yes.
Sure.
We both definitely agree on that one. This movie is the best of the three.
Yeah, it's just
it's a differing opinion on what that means.
Right.
Although I don't think our opinion is that far away from each other.
No, it's not, I don't think.
Because we're pretty much the same dude.
Yeah, we're like robots of each other. Dude, you said something the other day, and I was like, oh my god, Jeff's like the same fucking guy. I forget what it was, and I was like, holy shit. Like, it's disgusting how similar we are.
It really is.
We're just, like, doing a podcast where basically we, like, suck each other's dick for 2.5 hours.
And people love it!
I mean, I've watched people suck each other's dick for longer than 2.5 hours before.
We've all been there. It makes masturbation weird that we're the same guy, I think. Mm-hmm. But why don't we jump into the meat and potatoes of this movie?
Oh boy.
The meat and two veg of this movie.
I can't wait till this episode's over, because we're done with this.
Yeah, I feel really similar. I've been thinking a lot about, man, if we just skipped it, would anybody notice? But they would. People have been talking about Beyond for a while at us. This movie was released on July 22nd, 2016.
Too soon ago.
Directed by Justin Lin, who's famous for the Fast and the Furious movies.
Which ones did he do? If Mike was here, he could tell you offhand.
I've seen one Fast and the Furious movie, and it's the one that's the worst, the first one. The
first one. He did Tokyo Drift, which is, like, kind of the best one.
I didn't see that one.
Tokyo Drift's not bad. It's dumb as shit, but...
I feel like with a segment of our audience, you just completely discredited yourself.
Oh, he did 6. I don't know if I saw 6. Yeah, no, like, Tokyo Drift, like, 3 is, like, stupid, but it's not as stupid as, like, all of the rest of them, where they're jumping out of buildings with cars with parachutes on them and shit.
I feel like there's a difference between enjoying something because of how stupid it is and enjoying something wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Like, if you want to watch, like, a music video with cars in it, watch Fast and the Furious. Also, butts. They show butts.
There are a lot of butts in those movies. I haven't seen them.
Not naked butts, though.
I haven't seen the movies, but I have seen the butts from the movies.
That's how many butts there are in those movies.
You just see them on the street.
Yeah.
This movie was written by Simon Pegg,
whom I love. I love Simon Pegg.
I love Simon Pegg too, of course, because we're the same guy.
Yeah. Like, there ain't nothing wrong with Simon Pegg.
No. And Simon Pegg had a trash heap to work with, right? And he cleared as much trash off of it as he possibly could.
So, I don't know if it. I don't remember what it was. If it was an article, I'll try to find it. I probably don't remember what it was, but I read an article where Simon Pegg, before this movie came out, basically was like doing an interview, and he said like, I had to call J.J. Abrams and be like, I don't know how to write this movie.
Yeah. It's after the end of the last movie. What do you do with these characters, right? And that's a point I wanted to bring up early in this. These characters in this movie are not the same characters from the previous two movies.
No,
they have
they're
nothing
not.
in common with any of them, besides the fact that Uhura and Spock are dating.
They're still not complete, you know, like, they're still not, like, rounded characters.
But they are
at all.
different characters.
They're different, yes.
Especially Kirk. Like, Kirk is not the playboy, like, constantly trying to stick his dick in shit idiot that he is in the other movies in this.
Thank fucking God.
He is action man. His goal is action.
Yeah.
Which is a great tagline for a movie. You can have
his
that
goal
if you
is
want it.
action.
Action is the goal, and he's a soccer player.
Holy shit, we just wrote a movie. Get Justin Lin on the phone. We got some butts to put in this.
Oh my god, now you're thinking with money. So let's start out at the beginning of this movie. I'm sure I'll have a fun fact at some point, but right now I don't, but I'll throw one in later, I'm sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
The movie starts off on some planet, and there are tiny people on the planet, and tiny people are very mistrustful.
These are, like, let me just say, I hate this. I hate these cold open action scenes, like these Indiana Jones-esque, goofy Star Trek scenes that they did.
Don't
for
call
these.
them Star Trek scenes.
I'll turn my fan off. Okay, yeah, I hate them. I fucking hate them.
They're not Star Trek scenes. They are knockoff Indiana Jones action scenes.
They're shitty Indiana Jones.
I'll tell you
bullshit.
the one thing I like from this opening, and upon re-examining this, the first time I saw it, it didn't bother me that much. But seeing it again, like, this whole scene pissed me the fuck off because it's like a farcical take on diplomacy.
It's lunacy. This whole thing is stupid as fuck.
Yeah, it's like it's like, I feel at some point like Simon Pegg was like, we have to have a scene where Kirk is doing something diplomatic in this film.
Yeah.
And Doug Young, who was a co-writer, or J.J. Abrams was like, no, it has to be the wacky opening scene. And so we're going to make a farce out of the diplomacy.
Right, it's a joke for a joke's sake. Oh, there's a joke here, guys. There's a joke, guys. Did you laugh at it?
It's weird how appreciative I am of someone at least trying to put forth the effort of putting some diplomacy in these movies, even if it's like farcical diplomacy.
What's crazy is, like, Simon Pegg probably is like one of the, like, most, like, heartfelt, genuine writers of film that of our time. And he writes this movie. It's crazy to me. Like,
I'm sure he wrote this movie in quotes, and that he wrote a movie and then it got rewritten 30 times by committee.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still touches of Simon Pegg in this. Like, the fact that Scotty and Jayla, I think her name's Jayla. Yeah, have almost like a familial style relationship at the end of it.
Yeah, they're like sister and brother. They're not romantically,
which is not something you'd see in a movie in this franchise, even that like didn't have that Simon Pegg touch to it.
Yeah, there's like a respect there that you would not ever get. Like, Jayla doesn't like drop her gear off and like show her fucking underwear to Scotty.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
which is good.
I mean, all of the scenes where it's just two characters interacting are far better than any of the scenes of characters interacting in the other two movies. Like, the ones that always stand up to me are the Spock and McCoy scenes, where there's some actual heartfelt moments in those.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Spock is super emotional in them, and he just smiles and laughs and almost cries.
I blame Zachary Quinto for, like, I mean, there's just no other
You act the way you want to act in a movie as an actor. I mean, you get direction, but in the end, it's your decision as an actor.
He doesn't do Leonard Nimoy well.
No,
and
he's gone on record saying he's not doing an impersonation of Nimoy. He's trying to do his own thing.
Yeah.
But you still have to play a Vulcan.
Right.
Like, there are different types of Vulcans. I mean, there are idiots who would say Spock and Tuvok are the same character, but they're not.
Right, they're definitely not.
Like, Spock is far more, like, friendly and open and lenient a character.
He's more human because he's half human.
Tuvok is
Tuvok's
like 100% business. From a human point of view, he is a dickhole.
Yeah. Vulcans are like robots. Like, even the Vulcan who shows up, who is in the Maquis in Deep Space Nine, who's talking to Quark, like, she is like kind of robotic.
A little bit. There's a little bit of that to it. There's always the underlying, like, emotion that's like below the surface that you wouldn't get in a robot character.
Right.
Except Data, I guess. But she kind of did it for me. I don't know.
You know who's a good Vulcan?
Some about
who's
Vulcan
not a Vulcan
ladies.
in a movie? Oh, you love Vulcans.
I do.
Who played? Hold on, let me find it. In Blade Runner, the replicant.
Oh yeah,
She's a great Vulcan. Sean Young. Sean Young is her name.
Yeah, she should have played a Vulcan.
Yeah, that's how you play a Vulcan, and that's not even a Vulcan in that movie.
No. What a fuck! I love Blade Runner, by the way.
I do too. Of course you do, because I do.
Yeah, I am just mirror Josh. So
I'm like evil universe Jeff. So
anyway, the little things attack Kirk and rip his shirt, so he can make I rip my shirt joke because Kirk rips his shirt.
But you don't know they're little at first. You think they're big.
Yeah, and then it turns out they're little,
camera,
which is funny.
Because the camera, you don't know, because you didn't know that. Your perceptions are blown. Star Trek.
This sounds like you're reading the script to us right now, off the page.
That's the notes in the side where, like, if you're a writer, you can, like, make notes.
I feel like the Star Trek reboot movies are the only film script that has, like, scribbles in this corner and, like, fucking JJ rules and big font with lightning.
Those are just ketchup stains. They're not writing. It's just somebody was eating a hot dog the 2 seconds they took to, like, write the script.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I can't print another one. I leave them ketchup stains there.
Weird. There's the pretense that Beyond didn't have JJ's interference very much, but I don't buy that shit.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah.
There's so much JJ shit in this. Like, the swarm is 100% JJ.
Yeah, just Oh, God.
Anyway, Kirk gives his captain's log, right? And there are points in the captain's log that bother me.
I agree.
Like,
probably the same that bother me.
I'm having trouble articulating myself, which is great for a podcast. It's a good day for that. But
we're not having a very good day over here.
No, things have gone wrong for both of us today.
Terribly, terribly wrong.
But I'm still married, everybody.
For now.
Oh God.
Shit. Oh God, what did I do?
Nothing has gone bad with that. It was all internet troubles, all computer troubles. The way the log is stated, it makes it seem like space adventures are boring as fuck, and that
I fucking hate that. Like,
Kirk is quitting.
You know what really sucks? Yeah,
Kirk is quitting because he's bored.
Right, he's bored of exploring, space, the final fucking frontier. Yeah. He doesn't want to do it. He's bored.
I mean,
the line that kills me is things are a little bit episodic. It's like, oh, fuck you, Star Trek.
And then
episode.
There's one frame inserted into the film of J.J. Abrams winking at the audience, and then it just ends.
Yep. It's like the penis from Fight Club. It's the dick at the end of Fight Club.
Wow.
But it's J.J. Abrams' winking dick.
Which is just his face.
Dick.
Got him!
You heard it. You heard it here.
Fuck off, J.J. I know you're a fan. Fuck off.
I know you listen to this show, you bitch.
You listen to the show where we shit on you endlessly. But apparently, like, the Enterprise has been out in space for 3 years. And the eagle-eyed viewer of the film would know that only 3 seasons of Star Trek were produced. What's gonna happen?
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a great point.
That's all I could think of. I was like, that's so fucking cheap that they just.
It's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot.
Anyway, there's Starbase Yorktown, right? Which is.
Oh my god. Let's get into this.
Probably the easiest structure to destroy in all of existence.
Yeah, well, McCoy says, like, it's like a snow globe just sitting there. And it's like, that's kind of like self-referential and like, okay, but that's not like. Self-referentiality, if that's a term that I just maybe made up.
It's a new term now.
Doesn't excuse, like, terrible writing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just...
Poking fun at your own bad writing doesn't make it not bad writing.
Doesn't make it not bad, exactly.
Yorktown, when I was watching it, I was just commenting, like, this is the most logistically unsound structure I've ever seen in my life.
Most complicated bullshit. But that's how this universe works. Like, everything is overly complicated. Like, they couldn't just make like a space dock, like an ESD.
No.
It had to fucking be like a fucking because we need a fucking computer generated awesome shot of the Enterprise flying through the tube and all the gravity's all weird, guys. Star Trek.
It's like,
fuck that shit.
You made a structure where your ship has to go through like a 700-mile tube to get to a dock? And the tube is the exact same size as the ship?
Yeah.
Do you not have different sized ships? This is all like inconsequential to the story, right?
No,
but it bugs the fuck out of me.
No, I agree with that. Like, is the Constitution class ship, which is what the Enterprise is, is that the biggest ship they make?
It has to be.
So,
nothing else will fit in the tube.
Yeah, like, well, what happens when you want to make a bigger ship?
You don't.
What happens when you want the Vengeance to go in there?
The Vengeance. The Constitution class isn't the biggest ship because they made the big black ship, the Vengeance.
Yeah.
But that was a secret ship.
Yeah, and like I don't even think the Kelvin class would fit through it there because like it has that one big nacelle.
Speaking of fucking Kelvin, right? I get that J.J. Abrams' fucking dad or grandpa or something was named Kelvin, right? So he names all his shit Kelvin. But he named every piece of technology in the Star Trek universe the Kelvin something. The USS Kelvin, the Kelvin theorem, the Kelvin pods, the Kelvin tubes. You can't just name everything that.
He's shitty George Lucas, and that's saying something, man.
Yeah,
honestly.
It really is.
Like, George Lucas, for whatever your opinions of him are, which a lot of people hate him, that dude made up an entire universe full of names of aliens, species, ships, fucking, like, lore. Like, he did that.
He created Gunta Babu. No, I agree with you.
I wish this wasn't a video podcast so I could put a picture of Gunta Babu up.
That's a real guy. Look it up.
I know.
Pause this podcast and go to Wikipedia and put in Gunta Babu and you'll find that guy.
Fucking stupid as hell, dude.
Anyway, they go to Yorktown, right? Mm. It's got New York City in it because it's so cool.
Yeah, get it? Yorktown. Ha 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 ha.
New York, right?
It's like our time, but you can relate to it.
Speaking of our time, I'm getting off topic a million times because I'm pissed about things.
All right.
Sulu's husband, right? He lives in the year 63.
Sure.
Like 100 years plus from now.
Yeah,
and I couldn't help but notice that he's wearing the same exact shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Well, I wish I could see you, Jack.
I'm seriously, it's the same shirt. That shouldn't exist 200 years from now.
You don't wear pantaloons on the weekends?
It's like, it would be like wearing a big giant fucking ruffled collar, like a cravat.
You don't wear like a Shakespearean fucking puffy collar and your sword.
I just put my gorget on every morning and head out to the fair.
You don't even rock some lederhosen every now and then? That's not even that long ago,
It just
dude.
pisses me off that they couldn't even be asked to make costumes for future people. They're just like,
man.
wear your own outfit to work. Whatever.
They show that green kid, and he's got like a schoolboy outfit that like Angus Young from AC/DC wears. So,
oh, it pisses me off so bad. And one of the main aliens looks like a piece of cauliflower.
yeah. Well, is that the one?
That's the traitorous lady.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's
She looks like cauliflower. Also, like when Krall first shows up, Krall
Sure. Well, I mean, whatever.
Kull the Conqueror first shows up.
Krall from the 80s, the movie,
Yeah.
the fantasy movie.
The Krall played by Kevin Sorbo shows up. He looks like Keenser, the little like alien friend of.
Yeah, everything looks the same.
Yeah, he
in this
looks like
fucking world.
Keenser's older brother that got jacked in college.
Maybe did a little roids.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, took it a little too far.
You have to vary your textures, right? You can't just use the same texture for everything.
Well, they're doing it with the new Klingons now. They all look like that now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, one of the like designers on Discovery is one of the main designers from the Kelvin movies.
Well, there you fucking go. I didn't even know that, and I figured that out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So great job, guys. You're making great shows.
It's the same texture. I mean, if you turn on fucking Sci-Fi Channel's Face Off, right?
Yeah.
Not a sponsor, by the way. But
not
watch
an ad.
it.
Hashtag not an ad.
Hashtag Face Off.
Hashtag sponsor us, please.
Hashtag Face Off starring John Travolta and Nick Cage. If you watch that show, they tell them you have to vary your textures or all your characters are going to look the same.
They look the same, yeah.
Professional fucking Hollywood creature designers use the same texture for everything.
They're lazy. They're just fucking lazy. And J.J. Abrams,
Well, the thing is, a lot of work went into these characters, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
prosthesis.
right? It's not laziness on the term of in
It's
terms
design.
of like, the work. It's
Yeah.
exactly yes. It's
Oh,
planning.
God.
It's
It's just sad.
It's the fucking Batleth, man. It's the fucking Batleth.
Oh man, I can't wait to do that Batleth design. I'm really excited about that. But
It's gonna be like that lightsaber when like Force Awakens came out. The lightsabers were just like
oh yeah,
like 18 branches on it. Fucking.
just lightsabers coming off the blade in every direction.
I'm sensing a theme here. I don't know what the common denominator is.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know who could be behind all this.
Who could be behind the ruining of all things good from our childhood?
If this
I
would
don't
be
know.
a video podcast, in the corner, just JJ's head would slowly raise out while we're talking.
You've been watching Continue too much.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I love how all these jokes are just gonna make people be like, just making a video podcast.
We're not popular enough for them to be really mad about.
No, there's another podcast that might be coming back that they can be mad about.
But where's the video?
But it's on YouTube.
Where's the video?
I want to see your faces sit and talk.
I gotta look at your eyes so I can steal your souls.
I gotta look at your eyes and make sure you're not trying to shift me.
We should take a break and then actually talk about this movie.
Oh yeah, we got like 3 minutes into the movie, everybody. We'll be back to talk about the rest of the 900 minutes of this film after this message.
Hi, I'm Gates McFadden.
And I'm Michael Dorn.
On Star Trek The Next Generation, I play Dr. Beverly Crusher.
Computer, emergency entry, Chief Medical Officer Beverly Crusher.
And I play Worf, the Klingon.
Wharf to Enterprise.
Go ahead, sir.
Beam me up.
Our movie's special effects are light years ahead of the original televised Star Trek. But we both share the same vision of the future, where education and advancing technology have dramatically improved human and alien life throughout the galaxies.
Education can improve your life, too. You'll have a positive future filled with opportunities. So stay in school and graduate.
Engage.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Air Force, because we know the value of a good education.
And we're back. Buy that product.
It's probably a commercial that we should make for our shirt.
Oh, yeah. Shit, you're right.
Yeah.
In case there isn't a commercial there, go to our Twitter. It's probably on there. I don't know the TeePublic address. I'm sorry. On TeePublic, we have a shirt.
It's all right. I don't know it either.
Well,
They'll find it.
I
It's the
made it. I
internet.
should know it, but anyway, let's actually talk about this movie.
Okay, we're gonna get down and dirty.
Yeah, so they arrive at Yorktown, and Kirk is sad because he's another year older, but not another year wiser.
Yeah, and also his dad died, remember?
You remember that from the first movie, and then the second movie?
And then this movie? For
Yeah,
some of it?
His dad died, and his dad believed in Starfleet, and he didn't believe in shit, and he's a fucker, so he's sad.
He's upset because of emotions happen to people.
And then he gets fucking drunk. He just drinks, like, on duty, I guess, because he gets called to the bridge.
Yeah, that's, like, weird, like, because, like, I mean, they do that a little bit in Enterprise, where, like, they have, like, a beer every now and then, which is neat, because, like, you know, you're, like, have a beer. Beers are good, right?
They are good, but you're probably not supposed to drink when you're in charge of a spaceship.
But they don't have synthahol yet, so...
No, so it's straight up alcohol.
Well, he's drinking Saurian brandy, which McCoy says is illegal, which it's not illegal.
No, well, maybe it's illegal after George Kirk died.
Oh, the Saurian brandy trade went belly up, and
Yeah,
the
he's the
Federation
one who-
embargoed them.
He's the one who set that up in the Prime universe.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But, Spock and Uhura are on the outs for some reason. It's never really said. They just are.
Yeah, they kind of get into it a little bit later, but not really. They don't get into it, but McCoy and him do, which is weird.
Sulu reunites with his husband Ben, who I found out is named Ben through this article that I'm reading this summary from. Spoilers.
So, this movie has a billion references in it, right? Like, Simon Pegg shoved 1,000 references into this movie.
Because he does love Star Trek.
Right.
And
yeah.
he's trying to make it feel as Star Trek as he can, and the only way you can do that in these movies is to add references, because the world's
Right.
not Star Trek.
Right, so you gotta, like, cheapen your way through it to get it done. So it's a reference to two things. It's a reference to the Enterprise B in the Prime universe, right? Because the daughter of Sulu is the helmsman.
Demora?
I don't remember her
I
name.
think her name's Demora Sulu.
So that's her in this movie.
She's a baby
And
girl.
She's baby, yeah. So, and also, it's a reference to George Takei being a homosexual man.
It's like, they felt it was like honoring him, and I mean,
Right.
he didn't really feel like it was. But the whole point behind it was to have like a homosexual character in Star Trek.
Right. Which is the most Star Trek thing in this movie, is that scene. That 1 second of the two of them is the most Star Trek thing in this entire movie.
Like there's a homosexual couple and they're completely accepted. Kirk looks at them and smiles that they're in love together.
Right. That's Star Trek.
And then it becomes a reboot movie again for the rest of the movie.
It's a reboot again.
And, you know, I was gonna say, like, and then he reunites with his husband Ben, who united most of the fandom in pure fucking hatred.
Yeah. Did they get mad about it? I don't know.
There was a big mad about it.
Of course. Well, I know, like, George Takei was like, well, Sulu... I can't do a good George Takei. No. Well, Sulu wasn't gay, so I don't know. like, he didn't, like, play him gay, but it's like, yeah, it's not really about you, though. It's not really about, like, Sulu as much as it's about George Takei,
I don't think they realized what a minefield they were stepping into with this, because I'm fine with it, right? I think it's great that there's finally like some completely out homosexual characters in Star Trek.
It's
But
perfect. It's perfect.
There's like a minefield to jump through where like part of your fan base is thinking that you're shoehorning a character. You're not
Right.
shoehorning them in, but you're like changing a character, which is tantamount to straight up murder in a fandom, right? But then there's
they'll
this
get mad
whole
about that.
like super long history that I read about that's like really interesting about like Asian American actors that were made to play effeminate characters so that the white guys would be like super powerful macho guys and show them up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
That
there
probably
were
goes
peop-
back to like the Second World War.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, the fucking like
It's
propaganda films and shit.
It's
yeah.
really interesting to see. Like, it's really depressing for a long time reading about it. But then,
Yeah.
like in the like late '60s and '70s, when like martial arts movies got real big and shit, and they
Right.
like broke out of that stereotype, it's like really interesting.
That's fast. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
So it was kind of like a minefield to jump through, and I think in the end, it doesn't. The fact of the matter is that it's great that there's representation for people in
Right.
Star Trek, like they're supposed to be.
Right. In the universe where you can be whatever.
Yeah, and it's really up for interpretation whether it should have been Sulu or not. But I'm just glad that it's there.
Yeah. I enjoyed
felt like
it.
we would have to touch on that in this. It would be like ridiculous not to talk about that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I didn't think about like the whole other political well, not political, but like the points of view that come with that. And that's fascinating.
I would
though,
really, I say this to the audience too. I'd look up and read about that and stuff
Yeah.
too. There's a lot of like scholarly writing about it. It's
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
That's crazy.
But they find there's like an escape pod that's heading towards Yorktown. We got to get back in the movie.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately.
the movie's happening. I forgot.
And she says that her ship is stranded on the planet Ultimate, and they like went down in a nebula.
It's called Ultimate.
Get it?
Get it? So
Get it?
this movie is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I guess that's something that we should really get into a little bit. Guardians
We'll
of the
talk
Galaxy.
about it later.
Yeah,
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk.
It gets-
We'll forget about it, like we say. We'll talk about something later every time.
Yeah.
Like Kirk goes to meet Commodore Paris, which is a reference.
That is a reference to
Tom
a
Paris.
long lineage of
Yeah,
Parises.
but Tom Paris being at the end of it.
an Admiral Paris, his father.
Yeah, and I guess Commodore Paris would be like his great-great-great-grandmother, his great-great-grandmother.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. But Kirk wants to go on the rescue mission to get the planet from the planet Ultimate. Get this Kalara. That's her
Cauliflower.
name?
Just
Yeah.
call her cauliflower.
Her name is Kalara, and she looks like a big cauliflower.
It's like Hammerhead.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like, why did you do that?
Anyway, Commodore Paris is like, I heard that you want to be a fucking admiral. What's that
Vice
about?
Admiral.
And he's
Vice
like,
Admiral, right?
He's like, yeah, I want to be a vice admiral because space is boring.
There's a couple of ranks that he's skipping over, by the way.
Yeah. There's a couple
like rear
admirals he
yeah.
needs to go through for that shit. But
He doesn't have to, though. He's Kirk.
no, he jumped from ensign to captain. It's no wonder he's not made the fucking president immediately. But she's like, you don't really want to be a vice admiral. And he's like, nah, I'm pretty sure I do. And she's like, no, you don't. I'm the wise sage character, and I know
the
you
Yoda.
better than you.
Yeah. Yep.
And he goes, well, I'm going to go on my mission now.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens. He says, thank you, ma'am, and he leaves.
And then they go to the nebula, and they go through the nebula, and there's a lot of set pieces. Like, look at the ship. Ship's cool.
Yeah.
Going through the nebula, and they miss some clashing rocks and all this other shit.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
real space. There's lots of stuff going on in it.
And then there's a killer bee attack.
Like a Wu-Tang Clan?
Yeah, the Wu-Tang Clan shows up.
I wish.
RZA the Jizza, Spectre Deck, Ghostface Killer,
ODB.
METHOD, man.
Yeah.
And they fucking
They get fucked up.
They get fucked up. The swarm obliterates the ship for literally 20 hours of my life. That was another one of my fucking complaints, right? That scene goes on for literally forever.
It has to be super dramatic because the ship that you love is crashing, Jeff.
Didn't this already happen?
Yeah, it happened like every of these movies. It happens.
But in this movie, it gets super fucked up.
It's definitely fucked up in this movie. But,
to the point where there's none of it left.
yeah, they like saw the nacelles off and...
Yeah,
cool. I mean, that's cool.
So here's
Great.
my question, right? Krall has his crew, right? His ship's crew.
Okay, yes.
Okay, how many people are on a fucking crew on a Federation ship like the USS Franklin?
Okay, there's 83, I believe, on the Enterprise NX-01.
So
which is
somewhere between 83 and like 600.
anywhere from 83 to 600.
This still fits into my narrative, right? There are thousands of those ships.
This is
Are
a main
they
problem I have
remote
with
piloted? They never say. And there's people in all the ones that hit the ship.
Nothing is ever explained as to how he got to this planet, why he's just sitting on this planet, how, like, where did his crew come from, why did he turn into a fucking monster? Like, do they explain that? Because I don't remember if they do.
They say that there's technology on the planet that makes you immortal or whatever, or extends your life, and it apparently turns you into a monster mash.
Into a Riemann Predator hybrid.
Yeah. You turn into what everyone assumed was a Gorn, but with worse makeup.
But stupider.
I love the Gorn.
I do too, they're great.
It would have been great if that story was this movie instead.
It would have been. That would have been way better. They could have done anything and it would have been better, but...
There's a lot of kung fu fighting in this movie, too. I just wanted to say that.
Noted. Make a note.
Make a note. Kung fu. Check.
Kung fu. Check that off.
But anyway, the swarm obliterates the ship. Everybody runs around and shoots and jumps, and they run and they're shooting.
Yeah.
And explosions.
The ship is like keeling, and it's
the ship gets butt fucked beyond all recognition by the swarm.
Yeah. There's a cool, in quotes, what is up? What is down? Action scene. Everyone's all topsy-turvy.
You know what came out a few years before this? Is a little movie called Inception.
I do know that. I remember. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that they cribbed a lot of stuff from those scenes from Inception, and then a later scene also.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
But that's what they did.
Krall goes on the ship himself. Smart.
Yeah, not smart.
And he uses his android 19 and 20 powers from Dragon Ball Z to suck out the life from crew members to look more handsome.
He's Cell. He's like Cell, right?
Yeah. It's like fucking Dr. Giro, right? And his fat android where they had the things in their hands. They could like suck life force out. It's the same shit.
Dr. Giro, yeah.
Same shit.
Same thing. Inception.
And they keep destroying the ship, and like they run and they shoot, and
so he's like looking for something, right? Like he's looking for like a thing.
And there's a scene, like maybe 3 scenes before this, where they take the artifact that the tiny people didn't want, and they show Spock putting it in storage special. They showed the scene,
right?
And you're like, that's totally not coming back. That's the
it's
last
almost like he had a gun and he hung it on the wall and he wrote Chekhov's gun. Not Chekhov from this movie.
No, it was Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun.
As a kid, I really thought that meant Pavel Chekhov.
I mean, in this movie, it might. Who knows?
He goes and he finds the thing from the vault and he takes it, and Kirk gets it.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How did Krall know that the Enterprise got that thing? Also, how did Krall know that the Enterprise was going to be the ship that was sent to rescue the crew, quote unquote, of that cauliflower lady?
There's an answer for number 1, but there is not an answer for number 2.
Okay.
Number one, he had hacked into Starfleet's database.
Oh, that's right. They show him.
Yeah,
later.
Sulu
That's
finds
right.
him like he's hacked into the database.
Clearly, that's so obvious that I got that. I've seen this movie 4 times. I've totally got that.
There's
Great
literally
job.
no reason he could possibly know that the Enterprise is the ship that's going to get sent.
Which is where the thing is that he wants.
Yeah, and he would know that since he hacked in.
Yeah.
But everybody fires out of the ship in escape pods, or Kelvin pods, as they're called.
God. Oh my god.
And they want to separate the saucer, which is definitely something the Constitution class could do.
Definitely. That's definitely a thing. That not from a better Star Trek show.
Uhura separates the saucer, she sacrifices... There's a scene, right, where, like, Kirk is getting thrown around by Halo from the hit video series Halo. And he's just getting his shit rocked by every member of Krall's crew that he runs into. And then Uhura runs in and just starts fucking flinging him around like she's Supergirl.
Yeah, she fucking fucks up like 3 or 4 dudes, and it's like whoa!
It makes sense that Spock can do it because he's super fucking strong. He's a
Yeah, they're
Vulcan,
strong.
right?
Yeah.
But is Uhura like a super lady and I didn't know?
I don't know, man. Maybe she took like advanced super karate at the Federation,
Maybe.
at the Starfleet Academy.
Dude, that's definitely what I'd sign up for in the Academy. Advanced super karate?
I would take like 400 level advanced super karate. You're gonna need it out there.
No doubt. You need to be able to fucking judo flip an entire starship, or you're just gonna die.
Yeah, apparently.
But it
In
just
boring old
makes,
space where nothing happens.
it just makes me wonder if like somebody read the script and went, "Oh God, like Uhura gets kidnapped and that's it? That's her whole plot?
Yeah, they probably.
She should at least like kick somebody's ass beforehand, right?"
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that, but like, it's gotta make sense. Like,
Yeah.
it has to make logical sense.
And
Like,
it did not. Regular Spock would have called that highly illogical.
yeah, not. Yeah.
That's definitely not Uhura. That's a changeling.
Oh, that would be great.
Wouldn't that be cool if this whole plot just got completely derailed halfway through the movie and it was just the Dominion showed up?
I had seen a picture of the Krall or whatever species they are.
Oh, and you thought it was a Jem'Hadar.
I thought it was Jem'Hadar.
I did
yeah.
too, actually.
Yeah.
Damn,
It
if
wasn't.
only. Actually, that would have been silly too because it would have been like way too early in the timeline.
Yeah, no, it's super early. It's super
Anyway.
early.
They all crash land on the planet, including the ship, which is just a
Ship's
saucer.
Ship's
And Scott lands one place, everybody lands another place.
Yeah, Chekhov and Kirk land similarly.
Yeah, they land with Cauliflower Lady, and Kirk's like, "You fucking bitch!" He calls her
You
like
lie.
a bitch right to her
Yeah.
face,
Yeah, he does.
and then he points a gun at her. And then the universal translator is like 3 seconds too slow, which drives me insane.
It's so dumb. Like, just make her speak English now. Like, we get it. We got it.
Yeah,
That was
whatever.
never a thing you needed to change. Stop changing things.
No, it just makes it worse. It makes it way worse.
It's annoying.
But he meets Jayla and Alium.
Scotty meets Jayla.
Yes, Scotty meets Jayla, who's
So
an
there's
Alium.
there's a bunch of like,
Orcs.
yeah, there's like what would you call
They're
orcs?
Orokai. The fucking
Yeah, they're
Orokai show
yeah.
up.
But they're like Mad Max guys. Like, they're
Yeah.
like scavengers, and they're like all trying to survive on this planet, which is like a deserted island planet, right? Like, it's you can't get out. You're trapped.
Because your ship got swarmed by fucking robo-bees.
Bees, and she calls them bees.
Yeah. Which is cute, but
Yeah, yeah, she's a cute character, but like, what else is she? What is going on? What else?
she lives in a house that happens to be the USS Franklin.
Which is the first Warp 4 ship.
Yes.
Okay, so I watched Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring my Enterprise expertise into this. Enterprise is a Warp
I'm gonna
5
counter
ship.
you ahead of
Okay.
time.
And say George Kirk.
guy.
Yeah, I figured. Right. George Kirk died. Also, he reversed through time. Rippled through time.
It's called Butterfly Effect, Josh. Look it up.
I've seen it. I've seen the movie. You're right.
Fucking Josh Hartnett, I think.
No, it's Ashton Kutcher.
It's Ashton Kutcher. Fuck. I just got punked, everybody. Get it? Send money.
But the Enterprise NX-01, because it doesn't have it's not a Starfleet vessel. It's a Earth Starfleet vessel.
Earth Gov. IngSoc, whatever. Yes.
That was Warp 5, and during the Romulan War, I assume they made ships that could go Warp 5. Why not just make it a Warp 5 ship? I don't know. But
I don't know. Because it's older. Because fans of the series would be like, wow, that's way older.
I guess it makes sense because, some ships don't go as fast as other ships, but
it was the first one, so it had to be before the NX-01.
Yeah, so who is nobody's commemorating a first ship that can only go a certain speed. That's dumb as hell, right?
Yeah, the ship goes warp 4 and everybody's like, that's awesome, and then they go out into space and immediately get sucked into a wormhole.
Yeah.
The end.
Sure.
Which is shit that happens, I guess, but it seems like
exactly, yeah.
That might have been mentioned at some point in something.
I don't know.
Spock got impaled for some reason. McCoy's perfectly fine in the crash, but Spock got impaled.
Yeah.
And there's pretty decent scenes of Spock and McCoy.
They're a little better.
They're not there's no point to them to the overarching story, I guess.
No. Well, there's no point to many scenes in this movie to the overarching story.
But it's the weirdest thing about this movie is we see McCoy pilot the ship, the little swarm ship,
the B ship, yeah.
Yeah, and we see him doing action scenes and shit. And when I see Zachary Quinto do an action scene, when I see Zoe Saldana do an action scene, when I see Chris Pine do an action scene, that makes sense to me. It clicks in my brain. They're action movie heroes, right?
Right.
But Karl Urban isn't playing action movie Bones. He's playing
original Bones. Yeah.
So it's weird as fuck when he does action scenes. It's seeing DeForest Kelly doing action scenes.
Yeah, he gets punished for being the only good actor in this movie series, for sure.
It's just so weird to me. I don't know. It's just something about seeing it. But he is the best part of the movie. All the movies, by far.
Yeah, he's great in these, but he's just trapped in this nightmare universe.
I feel the same way about Scotty.
Yeah.
It's they're trying really hard, but nobody else is.
Well, one of the things about being a good actor is when you're acting, people watching your movie you're acting in should forget that you're the actor playing that role.
Yeah, and Karl Urban is really good at that.
And everybody else pretty much sucks at that in this movie.
Yeah.
But this movie's handicapped because all these movies are, because how do you recreate lightning in a bottle? You can't. Right.
They didn't even know what they had to begin with, right? All the secondary characters play bit parts for the first season and a half.
Right.
And then, they start getting, slightly larger roles.
Yep. I don't know, man.
But, Spock tells McCoy that he's thinking about leaving Starfleet so he can fuck a Vulcan lady, right?
Yeah, he's got to procreate, because remember when that happened in the first movie? Now we have to do a thing about it.
Vulcan's destroyed, and there's not a lot of Vulcans, so you gotta bang Vulcans.
We could have just not destroyed Vulcan, but no, it blowed up in a black hole.
It's weird how little it actually gets mentioned for having been such a universe-shattering thing.
That would be I don't even know. That would be during the Revolutionary War, right? Virginia getting sucked into a black hole. What would happen?
I feel that's all you would be talking about from then on for the rest of time. You just be
pretty much that would be a big deal. Yeah,
I'd be sitting in my office typing on my computer and fucking look over at my coworker and be like, "Hey, you remember when Virginia got sucked into a black hole?"
We'd be like, "Yeah, it was crazy, dude."
Yeah, what the fuck was up with that?
It's yeah.
No, I'd look
universe
over and be
changing.
like, hey, you remember when Virginia got sucked into a black hole? And he'd be like, yeah, that's what everyone's job is now, trying to find out why.
Trying to deal with that.
And, like, I don't know, Kirk decides he's going to go back to the down ship, right?
Yeah.
Because they need to scan for lost souls.
Oh, is that why they go back? I never remembered.
They're trying to use the tricorder, but it doesn't have a long enough range. So they're going to go back to the ship to do a sensor sweep.
But this is a con, right? This is a bluff.
it's a Con-Noonian sign.
It's a double cross, a triple cross, if you were.
It's a double triple cross.
Yes.
Because they get back and Krall's troopers are there or whatever, and Cauliflower Head's like, actually, I was a villain.
Yeah.
And Kirk's like, actually, I don't have the fucking device, bitch.
Yep.
Check out my gun.
And then
Chekhov pulls his gun out, and he's like, run the jewels, motherfucker. And she does.
And then she does the run the jewels sign that they do.
Anyway, they do like this huge chase scene because Krall's troopers are there, his halos.
Because we didn't get enough of this the first time, we get to see it again.
It's in the same location and everything.
Same ship, same thing. Great.
Krall's halos show up, his Master Chiefs, and they chase him. And then Kirk shoots a fuel tank and it explodes and activates the thrusters.
Because apparently the Enterprise is a car from the 1980s.
Yeah, I guess so.
You could bump into the back of it and it blows up. Dude, you're fucking yawning.
I'm actually really sleepy. I haven't been sleeping
I'm not editing that out. That's staying.
Oh my god. There's gonna be a few of those, everybody. I'm really sorry.
No, it's alright.
It's like, Chekhov's like, yeah, the fuel isn't igniting. And I'm like, what fucking fuel is a starship running on?
Right, like what would you even have to do to it to make it ignite? Like
shoot it. You
here's a
shoot
little
it with
real
a gun.
science. Here's some pointless fact I know about real life, okay? So you know the SR-71? The spy plane, the big black fucking fast ass shit plane. So the fuel for the SR-71 is like so viscous that if you threw a lit match into it, it wouldn't ignite it. Like,
damn.
It's like super potent fuel. That's like a plane that we have had for 40 years, 50 years.
Ever since Roswell.
And ever since that's
Think
right.
about it.
But like the Enterprise has like a fuel tank that you shoot a fucking phaser at it. Whatever, just whatever.
Look,
okay.
Sulu's husband is wearing my shirt, alright? Time is at a standstill.
Gasoline, guys. It runs on gasoline.
It runs on opium, okay? But, fucking, my favorite part is Kirk's like, I'm so smart, right? I gave facehugger alien the thing to hold in her disgusting
Facehugger
head.
alien. Yeah, which is another alien that never existed ever, but here we are.
So she hides it in her disgusting fucking head carapace. And, like, immediately, Krall just grabs Sulu by the neck and he's like, I'll fucking kill this motherfucker, give it! And she's like, alright.
Yep, she gives it up, man.
And she pays the price.
Yeah. So I have a problem with this scene, too.
Oh, do you?
So I get why they did it, because he's got to be evil and bad, and this is like a great way to show how evil he is by killing the innocent alien girl that we all kind of like now because she helped Kirk and shit.
Sure.
But like, it's like gratuitous to me, and like I don't.
The thing is, he
say
understands how it's being. He understands what it is already, right? He knows what it is. It's not a test. He just does it to fuck with Uhura.
Right, he has to be mean. He's got to be a big bad guy.
And it's also, like, really violent for a Star Trek movie.
That might be, like, where I'm hung up on it. Like, it's... Like, doesn't he want to turn them into Master Chiefs? Like, isn't that the plan? Like,
No,
why
he just
else?
wants to murder everybody.
Oh, he just wants to... okay, so okay, I get it. Okay.
He just really
He's that
hates. He just hates people. He wants to
So
kill
he's
them.
Nero. He's Nero. Okay, I got it.
He's Nero, but with a skin condition.
He's Nero played by a far better actor.
Yeah,
than
who
Nero.
doesn't get to do much of jack shit in this movie.
Yeah, he gets boned in this movie.
He gets Christopher Eccleston. He gets put in the movie and doesn't get to do shit.
Yep. He's great. I love Idris Elba.
Yeah, he is great. It's too bad he's not in this movie. So Krall takes his ships and fucks off to Earth. Or not Earth. He's going to Yorktown.
Yorktown. It's not Earth, Jeff.
Sorry. He's going to
Jeff.
destroy Yorktown.
Jeff, look, okay, this movie isn't about saving the world. It's about saving a city. And there's a big difference.
It's about saving the universe of this city.
It's New York City. It's slightly less than the world, so it's a slightly less bigger plot.
Yeah, you got me. You fucking showed me, Josh. You put me in my place.
I know I did. You're welcome. You'll thank me later.
I thanked you now. Well, you're not fucking listening to me?
Nope.
Why don't we take a break on that note? We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Come on, kids, get your sweaters. Let's go. Bye, Mom. Hot water wash. Okay. Cold water wash. Pretty clean. Oh, they didn't look that good. When can I stop kidding myself?
Out of the future comes all-temperature cheer with the all-temperature clean.
Must have powerful ingredients.
Certainly they're powerful. To give you the best-looking wash your world has seen in hot water, warm, cool, cold, and everything in between.
Terrific. Now that's white.
Cheer gives you a great-looking white in hot water.
And in cold water, that's clean.
Cheer beats even the leading cold water detergent.
Wait till you see my kids tomorrow.
I'll be watching.
Superior ability breeds superior ambition.
Boy, is this stuff clean and at all those temperatures. All temperature.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We're somewhere in this movie now.
I would say what act we're in, but I have no fucking idea.
Act 3, and I know that because there is a script in front of me.
Oh, look at you.
God, I am just on some sort of ball today.
That's good thing somebody is. I'm not.
They decide that they're gonna go rescue all their friends. And I skipped that before. I don't know why.
Okay, so Kirk and Chekhov meet up with Jayla, right?
Yeah, they like get caught in one of Jayla's traps, and then there's a silly scene where they fall and hit their heads and go boom.
Yeah, the goofiness, yeah.
And then
and Scotty's like, I like you.
And Scotty's like, meet my new girlfriend. And she's like,
She's a dark elf.
And she's like, I don't really like you that way. And he goes, oh,
my feelings.
None of that happens.
None of that happens.
But they fucking, I don't know. They find out that the weapon is called something.
Yeah. I don't even.
Abronath.
Okay. Sure.
I'm reading it. It's what it says. That attacks organic tissue, and he's gonna fucking fire it into Starbase Yorktown and just kill. He's gonna murderate the entire country
because he hates the Starfleet.
He hates them. He hates how they treat people badly, so he's going to murder everyone.
No, he hates how they treat people equally, so he's going to murder everyone.
I guess.
Right?
He hates peace. He hates peace, so he's going to kill everyone.
Yeah, so we get, like, a really cool, like, reference, but, like, not cool enough to be in this movie reference. Like
what
they talk
reference
about,
is that?
Well, they find, like, the log, right? They find the log on the Franklin.
And they're all wearing, like, Enterprise outfits.
Right, it's Enterprise era, right? So, because they just presumably won the Romulan War, which the Federation is birthed out of the Romulan War. Earth and Vulcan and Teller and Andoria all win the war.
Teller Prime?
Sure. What'd I say, Teller?
It's called Teller Prime, baby.
The Tellarite land. Troll land.
Look, they're dwarves, okay?
Yeah, dwarf land, right? In Space Lord of the Rings, which is what we're talking about right now.
I fucking love it.
I know, it's cool, right? So, like, they win the war, and, like, apparently, Krall was, like, a Mako, like a military assault command, who they gave a ship to, because, okay, fine, whatever.
I guess that makes sense.
But he hated being a captain, so instead of quitting, he turns into an evil bad guy in Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, I mean, they get lost in space or whatever, and he's like, fuck, the Federation ain't coming for us. I kept telling them that they were going to come for us, and they never did.
Okay, sure.
And so now he's a lizard man. But they decide they're going to go break their friends out of space prison. And McCoy, Spock, Scotty, Kirk, Chekhov, and Jayla are like, let's go on this badass rescue mission.
Yeah.
And Kirk rides a motorcycle.
There's a motorcycle on the ship for some reason. Somebody brought on a space journey of exploration a fucking motorcycle.
You know, I will say Picard brought a dune buggy.
No, the Federation gave him a dune buggy. Picard brought a saddle.
Yeah, well, that also doesn't make much sense.
Right. Because, like,
it makes more sense than a fucking motorcycle does.
Like, you're traveling at warp 4, so you're going, like, nowhere, basically, in the grand scheme of things. So, like, but, oh, we'll bring a motorcycle. Maybe I'll get to motorcycle around a planet. Who knows?
My favorite part about this summary is that it completely skips over the breakout scene. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just not in it.
I deleted it from my brain because it's so stupid.
They're just like... and they formulate a plan, and they persuade Jayla to help out. There's a emotional scene?
Yeah, she says, like, is that what you believe, Kirk? She calls him, James T. James T, is that what you believe? Yeah.
And he's like, it'll just be easier if you help.
Yeah, basically, he could
have given, like, a really good speech about, like, the ideals. Like, he could have Shatnered it and gave, like, a really awesome speech about the ideals of the Federation. But instead, he did nothing.
Jeff, that would be too much like a Star Trek movie.
You got me there. I read this article that was really interesting, and it's more interesting than this movie.
Let's talk about that instead.
It was this whole dissertation on a topic that's near and dear to my heart if you listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
The misrepresentation of James Kirk in pop culture.
Yeah, and you won me over. I agree with you 100%.
There's actually, like, straight up behind the scenes information from writers, and especially from Gene Roddenberry, that he based Kirk on Horatio Hornblower, like the series of novels, as, like, the thoughtful gentleman hero. And those in the know, fun fact, this will be your John Larroquette fun fact of the week, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
How interesting. But Picard is also based on Horatio Hornblower.
Yeah, no, you can see it way more with Picard. Like,
Picard is allowed to be more like Horatio Hornblower.
Exactly.
Because of the time period the show was created in. But according to Gene Roddenberry, like, Kirk and Picard are pretty much the same character.
Yeah.
It's just through the lens of the time period the show was created in.
Yeah, and it's a double lens, right? I always view it as a double lens. So it's through the lens of the time period that the show was produced and shot and written, and also through the lens of the fictional timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, it would be
it's
like,
more
okay,
rough and tumble time.
Right. It would be like
if
there was a guy like me now, he's me, and he's doing a podcast, and then there's a guy in 1817. Like, what would a guy like me in 1817 be like?
Doing
Probably a little more
podcast?
gruff. Not doing a podcast. But he might be like this, like, similar personality traits may manifest differently dependent upon what stage of, like, human evolution we're at.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
You think about Kirk is mapping completely uncharted parts of space.
It's
like,
cowboy. He's a cowboy. He's a fucking cowboy.
And when you see Picard's time period and everything, even watching the show, you can pick this out. He doesn't really go to uncharted space very often at all.
Yeah. Well, they mention it in Voyager. There's a line when it's the episode where they go back in time to when Tuvok is on the Excelsior. They say like, oh well, things were like a lot different then. Like they were like cowboys. Like you could get away with a lot more back then, right?
And I guess
Which
that's
is true.
but I mean, Kirk still didn't make decisions without thinking about them very heavily.
No. But like, he was like Wyatt Earp. Like, if this is the West, right?
Yeah.
Like Wyatt Earp didn't always like ask permission to do things, but he did the right thing, relatively speaking, right?
Yeah, he's like a much better at figuring out what's the right thing to do version of Wyatt Earp.
Than most. Yeah, right. Exactly.
But I just found that really interesting that that's just something that's sort of overlooked about the origins of those characters, that they come from the exact same place.
Yeah.
And that the debate between Kirk and Picard is like almost like the debate between the same guy. Like which same guy do you like?
If I wasn't lazy as fuck, I would go back and find the podcast where I say that they're more similar than they're different, but I'm not going to do that.
No, fuck that. Unnecessary.
Just listen to all of them again.
And you know who's not similar to them is the Kirk from the J.J. Abrams movies.
No, yeah.
Who, after he rides his motorcycle around, they transport back to the ship. They saved everybody except Krall, and his whole crew just left anyway. So
yeah,
I guess they might have killed him when they left, but they just left everybody else on the planet.
They left them on the planet for reasons unknown.
Yeah. But they get the Franklin flying, and they do this really stupid thing where they just drop off the side of a fucking cliff.
Yeah, because the Franklin is like a jet, right?
Yeah,
it's like a fucking spaceship. It just fucking takes off.
Like you have to reach terminal velocity by falling off a cliff.
Right.
How tall is this cliff?
They built the Enterprise in Iowa, and it just took the fuck off. Like, what the fuck?
He says a line or something like, these old ships were made out in space. They were never meant to be on a planet's surface. They still got thrusters, motherfucker.
Yeah. What, like... That's like an interesting line, considering, again, that the Enterprise was built in Iowa, and it... whatever, what the fuck?
I always thought that was something super cool about Star Trek, is that their ships are 100% space ships.
Right.
They're built in space.
Yeah, they're. I mean, why? I mean, they should be able to land on a planet, I guess. But like, how would the Enterprise D land on a planet?
They can't actually. The first ship in Starfleet history that's capable of landing on a planet that isn't like a runabout or a shuttle is Voyager.
Voyager, yeah, because they needed to like.
It also serves no fucking purpose. So
well, it does because they needed the show to be interesting, and they were like, we need to have them do things.
They did a real bad job of that. Ooh, just getting pointy.
Damn. Suck it, Voyager.
Anyway, they play some classical 20th century music. They find
I like how they call it classical music. That's funny because I know what our classical music is, but it's not that.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And they play the Beastie Boys music in a film against their wishes.
Uh-huh. Cool.
Somebody pointed out in the comment section that MCA was still alive when Star Trek 2009 came out.
Yeah.
I don't remember who they are, which I would normally feel bad about, but they corrected me on something, so fuck them. But
that's how we roll around here.
I just wanted to point that out, that I was wrong about that to begin with, but it still was against their wishes. I think I mentioned the first time that they had moved away from their the label, like Universal or something was their
whatever
label.
They were,
and they moved away from it to their own, to like a different label, but the original label retained the rights to their music and started selling it for shit against their wishes. That was my point. But I wanted everybody to know that I was wrong about something.
Jeff.
Yes.
It's okay. It takes a better man to admit he's wrong on a podcast.
Nothing makes something seem more trivial than putting on a podcast at the end of it. But they figure out that the drones are run on a hive mind, even though there's people in them.
My favorite part about this realization is that it's radio based. Oh, radio? You mean like the form of radiation that we discovered in 19 like fucking 10?
Yeah, it's run on that. These spaceships.
That makes sense. Yeah, sure.
And
I mean,
so
sure, why not?
they blare sabotage because they're sabotaging the ships.
They're
and also
blocking
because
it.
Kirk listened to it when he was a wee baby driving a car.
And Jayla likes it because of the loud noises and shouting.
Yeah.
She learned it from her house.
I don't dislike Jayla's character.
I do. I really like Jayla.
Yeah.
I wish this movie was just like a Jayla movie instead of like whatever the fuck Star Trek movie
The
this
thing is, like, this universe isn't Star Trek-y, so if it was just like a Star Trek knockoff starring Jayla, that'd be pretty good.
I would watch that. She's great. She's like funny, but like not like ridiculous funny, you know?
Yeah. And she's got like a heart, which is always good for a character.
Yeah, there's a yeah, exactly.
I think it's telling that the character that benefits most in this movie from Simon Pegg writing is a character that he had to create himself and put in the movie.
Yeah, no,
because
that makes
everybody
perfect
else was
sense.
ruined.
Yeah, they're bullshit. They're shitty fucking placeholders.
Yeah. But Uhura, like, is watching a video of, like, people celebrating on the Franklin or whatever, and she sees the back of a guy's head, like a normal dude, and she's like, that's him.
That's Krall. Yep, she knows.
And then they watch the tapes, the captain's logs, which are videos, I guess?
Yeah, they're not in Enterprise, so I don't know.
They're not audio logs, they're videos. And
they're videos.
And they also have, like, horror movie cuts when he, like, goes crazy.
Yeah, somebody edited his captain's logs to make them like The Ring.
Yeah, to make him even scarier.
Yeah, like a Korean horror film.
And he finds technology, like some sort of a colony that the ancient ones lived in.
Okay.
And they left some technology behind that makes them live forever.
Is that supposed to be like the Iconians? Like the Iconians are like...
No, it's the engineers.
The engineer... Yeah, it's from fucking... probably... Well, let's look at who helped write this movie. Oh, do we have a... Come on. What the hell?
Bring that up. Bring that shit up.
Oh, man. Written by... produced by... Orky. Orky's a producer, so there we go.
Is it Orky or Orsi?
I say Orky, but I think it's Orsi.
It's Roberto Orsi.
Yeah, I just like to make him sound stupid.
Orky. He works for the eye in the south.
Oh man,
that's another dorky ass reference. Everybody,
yeah,
look it up.
That's super. Yeah.
Apparently, like. Using the life extension technology turns them into, like, gross lizards. And they somehow, I think they're absorbing DNA from shit that they absorb life force from.
Yeah.
And they just use it on lizards a lot. I don't know. But they also develop an alien language and a swarm of super powerful ships.
Sure. So they... Where are we? What is happening in the movie?
Well, they have stopped the swarm. No,
the swarm is like confundus. Like they're confused. Like
they
can't
blow them
swarm.
up. You don't even like get.
Oh yeah, they surf. That's right. They fucking surf on them. Yeah. I forgot about that.
They blow the fuck up. Like they get confused and they hurt themselves in their own confusion.
They hang 10 on a surf wave of swarm ships. And they blow up behind them. I'm not even fucking making that up.
No, that's what happens.
Definitely happens in this movie. Yeah. Oh, God. I don't know.
Krall gets on the Franklin, and he steals a Starfleet uniform, even though he looks like a horrible monster?
Well, he has to, because when he turns back into himself again, he has to be wearing the uniform, and it's symbolism, Jeff.
Okay, well, I'm just a fool.
You're a terrible writer, and you don't get it.
That's true. It's true, everybody. He still looks like a monster mash, even though he's mostly human, but nobody notices.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't look like Krall anymore, so maybe they're just like, well, we're a bunch of weirdo aliens, so...
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I would like to pause and point out that I'm pointing out a lot of shit in this movie that bothers me, but I still think it's way better than the other two.
Yeah. I'd like to pause and point out that this movie only tricks you into believing it's better than the other two.
Oh no!
It's better. It's better because I've watched it more and enjoyed.
It's a competent action movie. It's not Star Trek, but it's a competent action movie in the way the other two movies are incompetent action movies.
Right. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they were like, look, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like the music. That's where the music comes from.
Yeah.
That's where it's like what they did with Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man has a bunch of music in it. Spider-Man's a way better fucking movie than this, but like
I haven't seen Homecoming.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, like it's got a character, a female character who's kind of like, you know, strong and like a ninja. You know what I mean? Like
there's a lot of kung fu in this movie. For
there's
Star
a lot
Trek
of right.
film.
Yeah.
I guess Sulu karate chopped a guy once.
He also used a lightsaber on somebody once.
I don't remember that.
In the first one, he has like a lightsaber sword. It like extends itself.
Oh, in the first one of these, yeah, Sulu fucking pulls out an extendo blade.
It's like a switchblade, but it's a sword.
It's a switchblade, but it's like 9 switchblades on top of each other that all switch out.
Yeah.
You did the special effects for it. I didn't know you did the sound design for these movies.
I'm a Foley artist now. That's my job.
But Kirk chases Krall into the only exhaust system in Yorktown.
Oh my god.
And they fight, and Krall's mostly human, so Kirk beats the shit out of him. It's
he
the first
fucks him
fight.
up.
It's the first fight Kirk has ever won in these movies.
Yeah.
Beats the holy shit out of him. And then he climbs in and tries to flip some switches. Like he's got to flip 4 switches.
Yeah, they're in like it's like a air filtration, and he's gonna release the thing inside of it or something, right?
He's gonna open the the trash chute. I don't know, but Krall ends up getting kicked into the weapon. Like there's a real weird slow-mo scene where he sees himself in some glass.
Yeah.
And you think maybe he's going to turn over a new leaf and it's going to be
you think it's going to be like a Star Trek thing. Like that's what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh, he's going to like realize." But no.
They could do like if it was slowly going by and he saw himself and he could see what a monster he'd become, and maybe he'd be like, "Oh God, what have I done?" or something, and he'd have to save the day.
Right.
But instead, he just grabs the piece of glass and tries to stab Kirk in the asshole with it.
Yeah.
And Kirk kicks him into the goo haze from Thor 2. Yeah. And then he flies out into space, dies.
Yeah, like how Star Trek is.
Yeah.
How it would end.
But then Spock and McCoy save Kirk because they're best friends forever.
Triple BFF, triple kiss.
Yeah, and then they fuck.
That's the movie. I think it ends. Oh, they build a new Enterprise too at the end in a time lapse.
They have a party. Like Commodore Paris is like, "Hey Kirk, do you still want to be a rear admiral?" And he's like, "Nah."
Yeah, I want to go do space stuff. I love it.
I love space now. I love murder. I love murdering Starfleet officers.
Diplomacy be damned. Let's throw people into damn space.
And they go to a party and they all get fucking crunk.
Except Jayla, who is immune to alcohol, which sucks.
Yeah, she's a Captain America. She can't drink alcohol.
Can't get drunk.
And she gets put into Starfleet Academy.
Sure, why not? I guess. Fuck it.
And Kirk pulled some strings. They were like, "You sure you don't want her to be a captain?" And he was like, "Nah, it's okay." And
what about a vice admiral?
Do you want her to take your place?
There's a job opening, I hear.
But then they all stare at the ship being made for like the 8 months it takes, I guess.
Yeah, they do like a oh look, and then like they look out the window, right?
A time lapse.
Yep.
And then they take turns doing the Final Frontier speech.
Sure, because hopefully this is the last one that they'll ever make.
Hopefully. Although, again, I will say this is better than the other two, but just going through it and talking about it, watching the movie again, my opinion of it has dipped a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I left the theater thinking, man, they finally did a decent one.
Right.
And, technically they did do a decent one, but for these movies, they did a decent one.
Yeah,
for an actual movie, it's still kind of a piece of shit.
We're grading on a super curve here.
You know what's
for sure.
What is really great in this movie though is the regular uniforms, not the like excursion suits that have shit all over them, but like the design of the regular uniforms with like the turtleneck.
Oh yeah, the big neck, the big collar,
and like the squared shoulders.
Yeah, they look
really cool looking.
Yeah, they're a little better looking than that shirt thing that they were doing.
I don't really like the shirt thing, but I really like these uniforms.
Yeah.
I don't like the excursion suit. People like it a lot, and I don't.
It looks enterprisey. A
little bit.
But that doesn't make sense because it's 100 years after that, so why would they still be doing that? But
I don't know.
I don't really like it.
When it comes to that color scheme and like style of suit and everything, I feel like Discovery is doing a better job.
Which is bad.
Well, we'll get into that eventually, I'm sure. We'll talk about that when it comes out. That might be a reward of a cheer of some sort.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We'll get into that, everybody. But why don't we take a minute and talk about our thoughts on the overall movie, Josh?
Let's do that. Let's do it.
Where does this movie rank? Is it only like a J.J. Abrams ranking, or does it rank above like Insurrection or something for you?
It doesn't rank above any of the Prime Universe movies. No.
I feel like I like this movie a little bit better than Nemesis.
See, I don't. I think it's so far off the scale that, like, Nemesis is still like as like kind of linear as it is and like boring as it is. It's still a much more,
I don't know,
well-written story.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's true, but the thing that gets me about Nemesis is that these are beloved characters to me.
Yeah.
That are getting put into this like horrifically un-Star Trek story.
Right, but you're viewing it through that lens again. See, like, what you're doing right now is you're excusing the shittiness of these movies because these characters were shitty always in the JJ verse.
That's true. I mean,
you're giving it a pass.
There is a huge curve to this movie that I don't mean to give it, but I am because the other two movies are such absolute garbage.
Right. The best thing I can say about this movie is if it's on, I'll leave it on.
Well, that's how I feel. I don't know if I would leave Nemesis on, honestly.
I wouldn't turn this movie off, but like I don't know. Like it's not good.
No, it's not. I mean, even on its own merits, it's a really bad movie.
Yeah. But there's good things about it. Like there
are
in
really
it.
good
and
things about
that's the Simon Pegg. That's the Simon Pegg, is the heart, you know? Like,
I think the most damning thing about these movies is I think about the universe that they're in, and it doesn't extend beyond the frame.
Exactly. That's a great point.
That's really terrible for a science fiction story.
Especially Star Trek.
Yeah, if your story doesn't extend beyond the frame, like you can watch a single movie, like a Fifth Element, right?
Right.
And they give you these huge swaths of the world that exists outside of what we're seeing. You learn more about it through like context and stuff, and there's none of that in this.
No. Yorktown's a space station, because it is. And it's like, but why does it look like this? Like, why do they build these?
Yeah,
like,
there's no cohesion to the world at all. Like, nothing looks similar in it. There's no aesthetic to the universe. There's no tying one point to another throughout.
Well, that's what happens when you have to constantly keep upping even yourself, right?
Yeah.
You constantly have to make it bigger, better. And it's fucking stupid. Like, that's not how the world works. Like,
it's really strange to me that that's how, like, all big budget adaptation movies are, right? Like, comic books, like, movie remakes, they have to up themselves. They have to be big, grandiose stories.
Right.
Like, there was that whole idea back in the 90s and, like, the late 80s that, like, no one would go see a Batman movie if there was only one villain in it.
Right.
One villain can't carry a movie.
Which is insane. Like, it's insane.
That runs all the way through the Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy. There's always multiple villains in those movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, which I guess isn't totally true. I think Bane's the only villain in the third one.
Talia.
That's true, Talia.
I saw that movie with Nick, and he saw it before me. Like, it was the second time, it was my first time. And Marion Cotillard came on, and I whispered, I said, "Is that Talia?" And he like lied. He flat out fucking lied to me.
He's like, "Nah."
He said, "No." And I was like, "You son of a bitch! I fucking knew that was Talia."
He gotcha.
Fuck, I knew it. I knew it was.
You're so smart, Josh. Well, it's like a story can be just a small story. I mean, like, Dredd was amazing, and it's like, it has nothing to do with, like, giant world-saving shit. It's literally like, we gotta get this drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know so much about the world from the beginning, from the intro, and just from the action in the movie.
Yeah. The world exists outside of the frame.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where these movies fall apart, is if you try to examine anything that isn't presented directly to you.
Yeah.
Even if you look too far into the background, shit falls apart. Like, you see some weird alien that doesn't fit anything.
All the aliens don't fit. Man.
Dude, at the end of this movie at the party, there is a gray. Like a gray. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I should play that clip from Babylon 5 where the guy is suing the gray aliens for abducting him.
You showed me that clip.
Fucking hilarious.
That's fucking so good.
Babylon 5.
It's, it's the JJ movies, like, I don't know, man. I try to take them on their own merits, right? But it's impossible.
No, you can't.
Because they're a remake, right? You have to. There has to be a comparison there.
There's no possible way that the way that they made these movies, the way that they went about, like, just making, like, cranking out this product, that this was going to be, like, timeless, let alone good. Like, it was damned if you do. From day one, like, whatever they were going to do was going to be stupid.
We live in, like, a remake reboot era, and it's been going on for longer than people even get credit for. Right? There used to be a time when somebody remade a movie or, like, rebooted a movie, they would make something that was just as good or better.
Right.
Like, I always point out The Thing is basically a reboot.
Oh, yeah, no, The Thing from the 50s.
Way better than The Thing from the 50s.
I had a tape of The Thing, or my uncle had a tape of The Thing from the 50s, and we watched it all the time as a kid. And it's creepy 50s, like, B-movie. It's fun, it's goofy.
It is. I do like that movie.
Yeah, it's cool, but The Thing is incredible. The 1982 Thing.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I love
bananas
that movie.
Good. Yeah, it's fucking good.
And that used to be how things worked. Like, you either if you made a remake and it wasn't good, it would just fucking disappear, right?
Right.
But nowadays, like, some people don't even acknowledge the movie that the new one is remaking.
It's
the new one is new to them, and that's all that matters.
I don't want to, like, dignify this series of movies anymore. No. Like, I don't even know, like, what to say, because, like, honestly, like, I don't know. I'm like ashamed that these movies were made, and I'm ashamed that I have to, like, defend old Star Trek, and I'm tired, man. Like, I'm really tired of, like, everyone giving these movies a pass. Like, I don't fucking care about these movies.
It's really difficult. Like, the thing is, when I was asking you about how the movies rank, it's because I fucking, like, had an inner turmoil battle with myself for, like, weeks since we last talked about Into Darkness when I was thinking about this movie.
Right.
Because when I saw it in the theaters, I was, like, I walked out, like, mesmerized, I guess, that, like, they had managed to make one of these movies that didn't absolutely suck dick.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself that, you know, I hate watching, like, Insurrection, and I hate watching Nemesis, but I didn't hate watching this.
Right.
And you're right, I was grading that shit on a curve.
Yeah,
it's like different worlds. You can't compare them in the same way.
It's apples and oranges for sure.
Yeah.
Except it's not apples and oranges. It's apples and like
Granny Smith apples.
Potatoes. Like I don't. It's not even
apples
like a
and
thing.
crab apples. They just have apple in the name. It's not the same thing at all.
Yeah, you don't want to eat a crab apple.
No.
You throw those at cars.
You don't want to eat a crab apple. You don't want to watch the series.
Yeah.
You want to have an apple. You want to watch Star Trek.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate this movie, but this movie is not good.
I don't hate this movie either. It's not a good movie, but it is the best of these three.
Yeah.
It's the best I can say for it.
That's a winning endorsement.
It's rough.
Episode 13, going flawlessly.
Yeah. You know what? I think we're probably at about the hour and a half mark on this baby.
Yeah, I think we are.
So, and I think we've said everything there is to say about this movie.
I wouldn't
keep your ear to the
recommend it.
ground for some nice emails.
Oh shit.
We're not gonna do them on this podcast, but it'll come out around the same time.
Oh yeah.
If somebody wanted a modern Star Trek movie, like if they were like, oh, I want to watch one of those J.J. Abrams movies, I'd be like, well, just fucking watch Beyond and call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
But other than that, I wouldn't recommend it. No.
Yeah, I would say don't watch them. Watch real Star Trek, not this fake Star Trek that sucks.
As a matter of fact, starting next when we do the next episode, we're gonna be diving into fucking Star Trek, baby.
Oh my God, we're back! Thank fucking God.
The real Star Trek. It's been a bit. It's been 3 fucking episodes without Star Trek.
It's like when you date an ex and then she lets you do anal. You know what that's like. Jeff,
what?
Jeff, you know what
How
I'm
is
saying?
it like that, Josh?
Jeff, you know?
Josh. I feel like you're trying to lead me right now. You're trying to lead a horse to water and make him drink. Anyway, just a little heads up about how our format's gonna work, because there have been a lot of questions about that, but we finally settled. We're not going to be doing it chronologically. Like, we're not going through all of TOS and then all of TNG and so forth, because it would be years before we got to anything.
Anywhere good, yeah.
Well, we watched TOS, motherfucker. That's good.
No, I mean anywhere where like
suck my dick, but
like. Well, like this will allow us. What I meant to say. This will allow us to talk about things in relative terms in Star Trek. So,
which is very useful.
Right.
It's definitely going to make the discourse on it a lot better.
We don't have to wait until we see an episode with the Borg to talk about the Borg.
No, because we'll get to it eventually, like way sooner.
Right.
But we're going to be doing it as series of episodes from shows that have something to do with each other.
Right.
So our first series is pilot episodes, and our first episode of pilot episodes is The Cage / Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Oh my fucking God.
We were watching both of them and discussing the similarities and the differences and how neither of them has jack shit to do with the Star Trek The Original Series.
Yay!
And we're going to be talking about what the series takes from both of them and what it leaves behind.
Nice.
Like Pike leaves him behind until another episode we'll get to.
Yeah.
But maybe another one of those tiers we were talking about would be picking in the theme for a series.
Or maybe even like an episode if we don't touch it.
Maybe that'll come up. Who knows, everybody?
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know shit.
Yeah, we don't know yet. How could you know?
I'm dumb. Yeah.
So tune in for that. Follow us on Twitter at mclasspodcast. And if you want to be part of our super fun times, spectacular email episodes, then you need to write your emails to mclassemail@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We appreciate you listening to this podcast. We appreciate you telling people about it. If you don't know where it's at, It's on SoundCloud until they shut it down. iTunes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shit.
And YouTube. Probably only YouTube soon, since the
Well, we can
iTunes
move the-
links to the SoundCloud.
Libsyn? I think Libsyn is a thing. We might go there. I
We
don't
could do
know.
like a Podomatic or a Podbean or something.
Oh,
like that.
Podomatic, yeah.
Something,
Yeah.
because that will link to iTunes. We're just talking about behind the scenes shit. Everybody, hold on.
Everybody, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Fucking shut up, everybody. We're trying to talk.
Shut up.
But we really do appreciate you listening to this podcast. We know
Yeah,
Star
thank
Trek
you.
is not everybody's cup of tea to begin with, but we hope we're converting some people
Yeah, into our cult. I mean, into our podcast.
into our cult. Send money. Come to our island. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Live long and send money.